Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Sparkin over Broncos, the show where we spark conversation about our Denver Broncos. I am your host, Gage Madrid. The Denver Broncos made an addition to their quarterback room on Friday, agreeing to terms with journeyman quarterback Josh Johnson on a one-year contract. Following the Russell Wilson trade, the only quarterbacks on the roster were Wilson and Brett Rippon, as last year's backup quarterback Drew Lock was sent to Seattle as part of the trade. Johnson figures to be in competition with Rippon to be our backup quarterback next season. In this video, we will discuss Josh Johnson as a player and how I feel he will fit the backup quarterback role for us. But before we get into that, a couple of housekeeping matters to attend to. We are trying to grow this community and include as many people in the conversation as possible, so I do ask a couple of favors from you. A like on this video would be greatly appreciated. It would really go a long way. If you really enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe and ring the notification bell so you don't miss another video. If you'd like to add to the conversation, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. I'd love to interact with you. Speaking of interaction, be sure to follow me on Twitter at Gage Madrid NFL for more coverage of our Denver Broncos as well as the NFL in general. And with that out of the way, let's get into the rest of the video. If you look up the term journeyman quarterback in the dictionary, you will probably find two names. One is very well known in Ryan Fitzpatrick, and another is not quite as well known, but frankly may have an even more interesting resume in Josh Johnson. Johnson is 35 years old and has been in the league dating all the way back to 2008 when he was a 5th-round pick by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Following his first 4 seasons in Tampa, Johnson has played for nearly half the league, with the Broncos being his 15th different NFL franchise. Johnson has also had stints in the UFL, AAF, and XFL during his professional career. Since 2018 alone, these have been Johnson's stops. The Washington football team, where he started 3 games following injuries to their entire quarterback room, the San Diego Fleet of the Alliance of American Football, a preseason stint with the Detroit Lions in 2019, a stint as the starting quarterback for the Los Angeles Wildcats of the XFL. He then spent the 2020 season in San Francisco, which was his 3rd different stint there in his career. He then spent the 2021 season with 2 different clubs, the New York Jets and the Baltimore Ravens, where he appeared in games for both franchises. To say that Johnson has been around the block would be an understatement. That said, there's also a reason why he has stuck around this long and hasn't flamed out of the league. Johnson brings value to your roster. He has embraced his role in the league, especially in these past few seasons. He knows that his job is to be a mentor and a leader for the rest of the quarterback room, as well as the entire team. Josh Johnson is someone who is highly respected for the way he conducts himself and for his traits as a leader. As far as on the field, I do think that Johnson brings some nice things to the table. Although Johnson hasn't gotten a ton of playing time over the course of his career, he has gotten a bit recently. Johnson began the majority of the 2021 season with the New York Jets, where he played a majority of their Week 9 game against the Indianapolis Colts following injuries to both starter Zach Wilson and backup Mike White. Despite the Jets' loss, Johnson played pretty well in that game. After the Ravens lost Lamar Jackson to injury, they signed Johnson off the Jets' practice squad to back up quarterback Tyler Huntley. Huntley ended up coming down with CV, forcing Johnson into starting action for the Ravens' Week 16 game against the Cincinnati Bengals. In that game, despite the Ravens not playing well as a team, Johnson was respectable in himself. He completed 70% of his passes for 304 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception, which came on the Ravens' final offensive play of the game. When you watch Johnson's tape from that game, it was clear that Baltimore wasn't asking a ton from him, as he had only been in their offense for a couple of weeks. That being said, I thought Johnson made mostly good decisions with the football, although sometimes his lack of arm talent would show up. On most of Johnson's bad plays from the game, it was a good decision but a bad ball. His last throw of the game, which did end up in an interception, was a bit of a baffling decision, but the Ravens were down by multiple scores, so I guess Johnson was just trying to make something happen. Overall, I feel that Johnson will bring exactly what you want in a backup quarterback to Denver. He's going to help out Russ in any way possible, as one job of the backup quarterback is to almost be the right-hand man for the starter. But in the event that Russ were to get nicked and have to miss a game or two, Josh Johnson can come in and bring solid quarterback play. he can steer the ship and keep it afloat for a couple of games until Captain Russ gets back. Although the terms of the Johnson contract have yet to be disclosed, I cannot imagine that it's going to be more than a couple of $1 million, which in my opinion is very good value for a backup quarterback. Perhaps the Denver Broncos may look to add another developmental quarterback in the draft, or maybe as an undrafted free agent, but even if they don't, I would still be comfortable with the Broncos quarterback room in its current state. We have Russell Wilson, who before last year's freak finger injury that he suffered was one of the more durable quarterbacks in the game. You have a solid veteran backup in Josh Johnson, and you have Brett Rippon, who would make for a decent quarterback too in his own right as your third string guy. It's nice to finally feel fully confident in our quarterback room for the first time since 2015. So those are my thoughts on the Josh Johnson signing. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, Broncos Country. I would love to hear from you. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at Gage Madrid NFL, and be sure to subscribe and ring the notification bell. And for now, this has been another episode of Sparkin' Over Broncos, the show where we spark conversation about our Denver Broncos. I am your host, Gage Madrid, saying peace out.